Hi, welcome to
Hello.
IELTS Speaking mock test. Can you tell me your full name, please?
My full name is Hilal tabii ki de.
What shall I call you?
You can call me just Hilal.
Hilal, can I see your ID card, please?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So, thank you. Here you are.
You.
Do you work or are you a student, Hilal?
Well, actually, that's kind of interesting question because I work and study as well.
Good. Thank you. So, welcome to IELTS mock speaking test. As you know, speaking test of the IELTS consists of 3 parts. We'll start from the part 1, which will be about some general questions about yourself. All right. So I'll be giving you instructions throughout your exam. So don't worry. Are you ready to begin?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. Good. So let's talk about hobbies first. Do you have a hobby?
Well, actually, yeah, I do, and I have a couple of hobbies, but for me, the most favorite is reading books, because I'm really a huge fan of reading books, and I guess that's my method of escapism from the reality.
I see. And do you think hobbies should be shared with people?
Yes, I think definitely, because when you do your hobby alone, that's kind of boring. And but when you share it with your friends or best friends, anyways, relatives, it's really more interesting to do it with someone.
And did you have a hobby as a child?
As a child, I used to have lots of hobbies. I changed my hobbies every day. I liked drawing, singing, knitting, everything.
I see.
I used to try.
I see. And what hobbies are popular in your country?
The most popular, well, it depends on the age of the people who want to do this hobby, because elderly ones, they more like maybe knitting or just watching TV or reading magazines, but the teenagers or younger ones, they are more likely to do some interesting stuff, that they are more like drawing, singing, or maybe skating, something like this.
I see. I see. Okay. Let's talk about a car trip. Do you like to travel by car?
I guess it depends on the length of the way that I'm going to, because I'm not really into riding by car.
And when do you travel by car?
But the last time was yesterday, recently, because I traveled to my grandmother's house. It was 3 hours away from Tashkent, and I have something like sea illness or something like that. I don't like it. I didn't like it, and it was yesterday.
I see. And where is the furthest place you have traveled by car?
Furthest, the most, I guess it was when I traveled with my family to the ancient city of Uzbekistan, to Hiva, I guess. As I know, there is thousands of kilometers to travel from Tashkent to Hiva, and it was really hard for me.
I see. And do you like to sit in the back or front when traveling by car?
I prefer to sit in the front because, as I said, I have some sea illness. That's why I prefer to sit in the front, and it helps me to get myself into the travel.
Okay. Let's talk about internet now. How often do you go online?
As a teenager, I use internet really often now, and I guess that's my problem, because that's really bad for me, because I spend my time there, I waste my time on the internet. But when I have nothing to do, I just surf on the internet, and that's it.
And what do you use the internet for?
For when I need it for my studies or for my work, because sometimes I have to translate something or just to search for something, to make researches. as a future journalist, I have to do some researches, and in this way, internet is a really good helper.
Mm-hmm. Do you have your own computer?
Yes, I do. I do have my own computer because I guess this is the one of the most essential parts of our life nowadays.
Mm-hmm. And what's your favorite website?
My favorite website, I don't think I have one because I don't use one of them really frequently. I just use randomly what I find. I just use it.
See, and do you think children should be allowed unsupervised access to the internet?
Well, I guess from the young age, no, because I wasn't allowed. And I guess that was right from my parents' side. Internet can have influence on their minds, and it's really, how to say, it is really bad, because I guess while growing up, children should listen to their parents or to the adults, and not to the internet, where some kind of stuff, there are many inappropriate stuff in there.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So that was the end of the part 1. Now let's into part 2. In part 2, I'll give you a card and a pen to make notes on the question there, and then you'll have 2 minutes to talk about that topic, all right?
Yeah.
So your topic is to describe your holidays, so you have 1 minute. Here's your card and a pen.
Mm-hmm.
All right, your preparation time's up. You have 2 minutes to talk. Let's begin.
Okay, I'm going to talk about my favorite one and most ridiculous trip in my life. We, with my parents, traveled from Tashkent to Khiva. It took about a day for arriving there to that city, because we traveled by car. And as I said, I was there with my parents. Firstly, we saw some interesting places, historical ancient places. Then we went for dinner, which we tried their national cuisine, Khiva's national cuisine or something like this. And then, for me, the most interesting moment was when we went to some part of Khiva, and there were lots of old streets and houses. We just walked there, and there were actually something interesting that I found out, that there are actually people who live there, because these was houses like slums. Really, there isn't any. I don't know, there isn't any stuff to live, and they just live there. And that's really funny, and that's interesting. Sorry, not funny, that's interesting, because I didn't know that people actually tend to live there. And the second was when we went with our guide, we went to see Ichan Kala, I guess, and we were supposed to come in there, but people that were there, security, I guess, or something like that, they just didn't allow us there, because they said it's weekend and we cannot allow you to come in there. And but our places were booked. We just bought the tickets and stuff.
Thank you. Your time is up. So, do you plan to go to Khiva again?
Yes, I do. I really like their national cuisine. That's a good gastronomic place, I guess.
I see. Thank you. Now, let's turn to part 3. In part 3, I will give you a few questions to further discuss our part 2.
Mm-hmm.
What do the Uzbek people mostly do in their leisure time?
Uzbek people, In my opinion, it again depends on the age. Well, I don't think that it mostly depends on the nation, but it depends on age. Because elderly people, again, they like watching football, watching TV at all, or just reading newspapers. I'm judging by my grandparents. But when it comes to adults, they're more, when they have leisure time, they have free time, I guess they just spend it on themselves. They like do some stuff, women do some stuff with their like body appearance, and men do just relax and chill. But when it comes to teenagers or children, they're most likely to play some video games, computers, surf on the internet and stuff, because I do it myself like that.
I see. What's the difference between holidays today and 5 years ago, and what do you think are the reasons for change?
Interesting question. Let me think about it. Well, I don't think that there were so many changes in Uzbek holidays, because as I remember, 5 years ago there was that kind of holidays that we have now, and there were no changes. But maybe with the weddings, but there were changes with the traditions. Like 5 years ago, we used to have like really huge weddings with like thousands of people in it. But now it's like we have less people in the weddings, and we have like 300 or 100 people, and that's really good, I guess, because I don't really think it's good to spend that much money for some like strangers.
Do you think people will spend more time on leisure or working in the future, Tara?
In my opinion, in the future, people will spend more time on work, on their jobs, on their works, to do some stuff, because now we're getting lazy and lazy by the decade. But our scientists are having some kind of solutions to this, and I guess people in the future will more likely to work.
I see. Thank you. That was the end of our IELTS speaking mock test. For your participation. Well, the feedback session. This candidate has generally performed well. When we talk about the errors and the marks, for fluency and coherence, I have put 6 for this candidate, because she has occasional repetition, self-correction, and in some moments she loses the coherence, and especially in the part 3, organization is a bit poor, which should be worked on. And hesitation is also noticeable, especially language related. In a part 2, it was noticeable how he was searching for vocabulary to express her ideas. For lexical resource, I've put 6 as well, because she has a wide enough vocabulary to talk about the topics, and as I mentioned in fluency and coherence part, she is searching for some vocabs to talk about to discuss the part 2 topic. Paraphrasing is done in a minimal way, but she tries to do it, but still it can be done in a better way. Therefore, it was a band 6. Grammatical range and accuracy, it is 6. She can use a mixture of simple and complex sentences, although her erroneous sentences are more. She has problems with subject-verb agreement, with comparative superlative adjective, and she has problems with countable, uncountable nouns, and she has problems with tenses. In the part 2, it was notable how she confused the present and past tenses. And the pronunciation part is 6 for this candidate, because it can generally be understood, but in some moments there were word stress problems and sentence stress. She has to improve her intonation, because in some moments it was needed to stress some parts of her answers to make the meaning clear. Therefore, taking into consideration these features of her pronunciation, I've put 6. Overall, she has got 6.